I could not write a piece that was a sort of public service announcement for don't do crystal meth. It's always that question of how do you approach the material and how do you get into it to kind of make it interesting. And the way that I see this is that it's divided into two things. There are the personal relationships, the day-to-day things that happen at a club or at somebody's house or at a party, and the reality of the actual meth use, the actual day-to-day reality of meth use. Then there are sort of the higher ideals of meth use, which an addiction, with relationships and people in your lives, and what it means to be human, and what it means to love and be hurt, and be lost. I mean, all those things. Somehow I had to convey both these things in a piece in 45 minutes. When you make this a story about a boy who's addicted to crystal meth and the relationships around him and how it affects the people in his life, then I'm interested in the story. I love this little quartet that I wrote for the choir, and it's a cappella, and it's called "We Hope." And the piece, there's just something about the piece that I feel, in my opinion, what it does for me is it expresses the sort of human condition and the need for love and the need for people that mean something to you. A friend of mine who was he's a very good friend of mine, and we are collaborators. And he, for the past year and a half, we were working on projects that I couldn't get him to finish. It's like somebody I didn't know. And of course, it turned out that he was on crystal meth. And after about a month or a couple weeks, month after I'd gotten the commission, he came over and he told me that, everything about the last year and a half and what had happened, because he had stopped and he was sort of doing the whole business of kind of, letting his friends know, trying to, and as far as I know today, he hasn't touched it. Everything that went on in the past year and a half with him, I used in this piece because it was my personal experience. And I feel like this piece went from one of just a really interesting commission that I was going to write to one of personal, a very deep personal meaning for me, because I care a lot about him, and it broke my heart to see him in the condition that he was, because he's a brilliant, brilliant writer, and he is also a very, very good friend of mine. If someone really understood, like if my friend really knew what I saw in him and what he is worth in life, I feel like that is something that could change his life. Because there's something that's lacking, like I said, whether it's self-esteem or whatever it is. But if you could only see what I see in you, then perhaps you wouldn't, you wouldn't want to escape from life and do, because that's what it sort of does. I mean, you blow time and you feel good and you like, but it's not real. I just think like there's something that has to make a sort of a cathartic change in somebody's life, and sometimes, I mean, sometimes music does do it, Sometimes somebody hears something, and it just hits them right to their very core, and it would be nice if something happened like that to somebody, even if it's one or two people in the audience. I didn't expect to get what I got out of the piece. I didn't expect that I would put in what I put into the piece, because I didn't even realize that I was involved.